After 12 years, I cheated on my boyfriend with my boss. To get this out of the way right off the bat, my partner and I are totally okay with the fact that we are not married under the law at this point in time. We are very much there in terms of every other aspect, including our bodies, our emotions, our finances, and so on. Since I was 16 years old, we had been together. Over the last year or so, he has shown absolutely no desire in spending time with me at all. I am sure that he is still masturbating because I have seen porn on our computer and I have caught him in the act of picking one off when he was showering. It does not happen very frequently that I am successful when I throw myself at him. When we were in our teens, we would have time every day. These days, I'm fortunate if I get time once every 4 to 6 weeks. Even when he does it, I've managed to talk myself into believing that he does it so that I'll leave him alone. There might be a few factors at play here that are having an impact on our time lives. Since around 2 years ago, he has been taking medicine for ADHD, one of the adverse effects of which is a diminished time desire. I have been struggling with depression for the last few months, and it first appeared approximately a year ago. We are both at school and in a difficult financial situation. I believed that good communication had always been one of our relationship's strongest points, but I may be wrong. I've let him know that I'd like it if we could spend more quality time together, and he's promised to make it happen. I immediately jump on him, but nothing occurs. I sit here and wait for him to come to me, but he never does. He has no intention of stopping the medication he is now taking and will not even consider switching brands. I've also informed him that I didn't start feeling melancholy or is it disappointment until we stopped having regular time, but he argues that it doesn't help. He says that I'm wrong. Therefore, over the course of the last half a year or so, I've made an effort to pretty myself up quite a bit, have lost weight, and have been engaging in various activities that bring me joy. I would want to believe that our lack of time is because he is stressed, but if that is the case, then why is he wanking it without me, while I'm in the house? This time around, my contact with him has not been helpful, because he does not want to work throughout his time as an undergraduate student. I had no choice but to get a full-time job that was less than desirable while I worked on writing the thesis for my master's degree. I realized quickly that my boss was quite beautiful. I know, terrible decision, but I didn't have any intentions of acting on those feelings. Since I've been in a committed relationship for the last 12 years, the thought never ever entered my head. We've gotten to the point where we can joke around at work and enjoy each other's company over the course of the last several months. The sexual tension started to increase, but I thought it was just me. So there's no need to worry about it since it's probably just my elful imagination, right? Recently, when I was at work, the weather became awful, and the roads were in poor condition. Since I work at a hotel, I seen my co-workers put guests who had to work the next day up for the night. Since we both had to work, he welcomed me into his room to have a drink before I went to mine. Because we both had to work, he invited me into his room. We ended up conversing for a few hours, and towards the end, we were both red in the face. He attempted to seduce me, but I let him. I can't remember the last time I had so much fun or such a good time. It makes me sick to my stomach that I had such a good time. I've never thought of myself as a cheater, and I'm well aware that if my partner found out about this, it would put an end to our relationship. My supervisor is demanding more, and I'm not sure how to respond. This guy is a werewolf, and he is the antidote to my kryptonite. I told him that I needed to keep my distance from him, but I'm not sure if I could do that and I don't want to. I don't know when the last time was that I lusted for someone this intensely. I don't believe I've ever been really emotionally attached to someone. It's like if I'm caught in the middle of a bawdy song by Lady Gaga. Yesterday, I had to hold back absolutely everything in my arsenal in order to keep from jumping his bones at work. My partner and I are going through a hard patch right now, which is evidently worse than I expected, and I want to reassure you that we will get through this. It's simply not going to happen right now, and nobody knows when it will. I obviously still care for him, but our relationship has never been put to the test in this way. With the exception of his self-centered conduct, which consists of refusing to work and refusing to take time, my partner is generally quite wonderful to me. What should you do if you see a potential Mr. Right now practically every day at work and he is totally okay with the fact that you already have a boyfriend? I don't believe that I'm asking for an explanation or justification of my actions. Rather, I simply want some ideas. What a letdown after all that talk about being the lovely girl next door. Additional information 1. Relationships between co-workers have occurred in the past, and interestingly enough, no one appears to worry too much about it. Even more peculiar is the fact that I've overheard the GM, who was not the boss in the aforementioned talk, making a joke about attempting to set up romantic encounters between co-workers. 2. Aside from a weekly check to help pay the bills, my work has nothing to do with the professional path I wish to pursue, and as a result, I will resign from it if it becomes necessary to do so. 3. I won't be playing games with the boss since I'm very certain that we both comprehend the fact that there is no emotional connection between us in this situation. 4. In spite of what you may believe, the answer is that I do, in fact, love my guy. Never in a million years did I anticipate doing anything like this. But I let it happen. I accept that I will have to learn to live with it. I haven't made up my mind about whether or not it was helpful when he admitted that he had made mistakes in the past. Update. This morning I attempted to have a conversation with my partner regarding the way we use our spare time. I wasn't even acknowledged by him. When I questioned him why he wasn't answering, he said that he needed to go to school since he was late. Before his first lesson, he had 2 hours of free time. The situation has not improved. Additionally, I had a lengthy conversation with my manager the night before. During our conversation on our unethical behavior, he shared that he bases his own morality on the teachings of Oscar Wilde, who said, "The only way to get rid of temptation is to surrender to it." After that, he asked me whether I had anything planned for the following Friday. So there has been no development in any of those areas, but I have to admit that it is pleasant to be wanted by a handsome guy, despite the fact that I have no idea what his true goals may be. The development of an exit strategy from both predicaments is underway. It remains to be seen whether or not I am successful in any of these endeavors. I'd want to express my gratitude to Reddit for the helpful postings and insightful advice they provide. And to those who pass judgment on me via their remarks filled with self-righteousness, I hope your words make you feel better about themselves. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. You have no choice but to inform your partner. There is a good chance that it will put an end to your relationship. Perhaps it won't happen. Perhaps it will serve as a wake-up call for the two of you to address some persistent problems that have been plaguing the relationship. On the other hand, it is more possible that he will end the relationship with you, and he would be quite within his rights to do so. Even if you and your spouse do not have the same sexual interests, you are aware that this is not a valid reason to cheat on each other. Your supervisor is deserving of both a smack in the face and a termination letter. Starting a sexual connection not just with a colleague, but also with one that he supervises, while in a hotel room paid for by the business, with drink involved, and knowing that she is already in a relationship is the act of a person who is both very unethical and extremely foolish. You are completely responsible for your own conduct, but he is a scumbag. Tell your lover what you did, and then prepare to leave your relationship with him. If he's willing to discuss the possibility of forgiving you, your best bet is to seek out some relationship therapy and a new career. Redditor 2. You have made the whole of your article about how he does not want time and prefers to masturbating in the quiet of his own house. It is true that masturbation and a lack of time drive are indicators of a problem in a relationship, but it seems as though you want or desire time as a component of your relationship to the extent that you are ready to put your career, your relationship, and your reputation in jeopardy. It is very clear that you have significantly raised the stakes beyond what the circumstances warrant. In the world of storytelling, A climax is sometimes referred to as a moment beyond which there is no turning back. There is no way to reverse the situation, and there is no way to return to the way things were before. The repercussions must be faced with, and there is no prospect of going back to the way things were. My advice is for you to break up with him. If he is okay with the fact that you are not married to him after being together for 12 years and not having sexual relations with him, then it is likely that he will be okay with the fact that you are leaving him, unless the only reason you want to be with him is because you're afraid of being alone and only struck out like this to get a feeling of something you've been elking. In which case you're not going to do anything anyway, and you're going to string both of these guys along until you have a moment of clarity in a few months that will reveal to you some other embarrassing truth about yourself, and you'll continue the same pattern regardless of the circumstances. Anyway, I wish you the best of luck. Redditor 3 said that the boss is probably okay with it since he likes the power struggle that goes along with it, because it makes them feel more superior to him. Some men particularly like having sexual encounters with women who are already in committed relationships. It appeals to the predatory drive in them. Make no mistake about it, you are the one who is going to be evaded. What? Another pun? Because you choose to cheat, your relationship with your employer has significantly deteriorated, and your boss is exploiting you for sexual favors. It's a draw, but I tend to have a negative outlook on things anyhow. Redditor 4 says that pinching one off is a slang term for going to the bathroom. Pinch a loaf is an abbreviation for the phrase, "You saw him rubbing one off on someone."